Good morning, Zimbabwe. Good afternoon, good evening, depending wherever you're watching us from. My name is Yvonne Muchaka, and today, this program that we bring you on Zimbabwe Daily in studio with, we have a very special guest, and we are going to talk everything from authoring books to emotional wellness to every other thing that pertains to development because I'm talking to a development practitioner. So join me after this short break as I introduce to you my guest. Right, welcome back to you. Welcome, Emelda.
Thank you, Yvonne.
It's a pleasure to have you in studio.
I'm excited to be here.
And this is not the first time that Emelda is here because Emelda did a month long sharing morning devotion on our platform and she'd never been here. So, welcome to the platform that you've been on before.
Thank you. It's good to be home.
Excellent. Tell us and our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so hello, viewers. I hope I find you well wherever you are. My name is Emelda Vhiriri. In my circles, I'm known as Mel, so you can call me Mel as well. I am a cultivator of lives. I believe in bringing up people around me. So any opportunity I get to cultivate lives, I do that.
Right.
I run a platform that's called Invaluable Woman Exhale Community. Exhale as in, okay, where we tell each other it's okay to press pause,
Right.
refresh, refuel, and recharge together. So that's a platform that I run. I'm also a development practitioner, an author, a pastor, a
Right.
wife to one handsome man.
A wife. I like that. And as you share your journey, I want to really go deeper into the issues that you've raised because you're an author. Why do you write?
Okay, if you had asked me that question 2017 when I wrote my first book, maybe before then I'd say I never thought I'd be an author,
Right.
to be honest. But the circumstances that happened in my life took me to a place where I was questioning myself, questioning my self-worth. Like, am I beautiful enough? Am
Right.
I worth it? And in that journey, I'm deeply rooted in the Word of God and spiritually, as a believer. So it's a journey that I was taking on, where the Holy Spirit was answering my questions to say, who do you see yourself as? Through whose eyes do you see yourself, Mel?
Right.
Who completes you? Who gave you the thinking that you have to be half and get another half to become one?
Right.
So I would say circumstances birthed the author, because my second book is called Beauty for My Ashes, Rising Like a Phoenix
Right.
from the Ashes of Grief. And that one came after I lost my dad. And for me, it was double grieving because when I lost my mom, I was younger. I
Right.
didn't really
Understand.
process it. I didn't
what was
understand
that?
it.
Yeah.
So when my dad left, I realized, oh, okay, so I am really an orphan. So as I was going through my journey of healing, being broken down and being mended again, the book was birthed. And you
Right.
find that it's a fusion of the Word of God, it's a fusion of psychological concepts, because I did psychology as a first degree.
Right.
So I'm very passionate about mental health issues because of that background as well. So I would say the author came out of pain.
Right.
The author was birthed out of places of pain. And that's why, for me, pain is something I embrace. Something I embrace because I've realized that from pain, passion comes.
Right.
From pain, purpose comes.
Right.
From pain, power comes.
Wow.
You know, so the author was birthed from pain.
You know, each time I'm in studio and I feel goosebumps, I know that something great is coming out of this conversation. And, you know, because I've just heard that, I know that, you know, there are so many people who are going through painful seasons and who don't know what to do with those painful seasons. People who have passed through really emotionally trying seasons and they have no idea how to deal with that. And I love the fact that you say that you are a pastor, which means that you've also been on a journey in your Christian walk, discovering exactly who you are. Pain, purpose, pain, power. Wow. Those are really powerful nuggets. Now, when somebody has gone through or is going through a season where they have suffered emotionally, they feel abused, they feel violated, what word would you give to them to come out of that state and rise like a phoenix?
Yeah. Okay, I would say, when we're told in Jeremiah 29, verse 11,
Right.
for I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you a hope in the future.
Right.
That means with everything that's going on, if God allows it to happen, then it's a plan, it's a bigger plan for your prosperity. So it's not to harm you, it's
Right.
to bring out a better version or a greater version of who God created you to be. In the book, I talk about the God version, right? When we buy our phones, we've got different versions, S9, S10, but you unlock the version when you get the S10, right?
Right.
That new version. And in life, there's circumstances that happen that will unlock a God version of who God created you to be, where you realize, I can actually do this.
Right.
I've been thrown in the deep end, but I can actually do the breaststroke and the butterfly.
Right.
You learn when you're in there. So, for somebody who's going through a trying time, I'd say, know that you and I, because we are human, we will go through tough times, but we are passing through them,
Right.
not staying there. So if you then have the mentality to say, I'm passing through this, have a bigger vision and not say I'm done for, or this is the place where I'm just going to be buried. So there's a bigger plan. Believe it or not, I know for someone it's like, but you don't know what I'm going through.
Right.
Yes, I don't know what you're going through. But what I know is, as people, we will go through trials, we'll go through tribulations, but how we respond to them is what's important. You can't control what happens to you. You can't. People will throw things at you, people will say things at you, loss will happen, but you choose how to respond to the things. So I'd say you're just passing through.
Right. So
Just
how you
passing through.
respond matters. Thank you so much to all of you who are coming through. We are coming to you live from our Zimbabwe Daily Studios. Thank you, Farai. You say congratulations, my Mahachi. Try more, Chizunguza. That's awesome. Congratulations, Rosenpambwa. Rising like a phoenix will rise up like a wave. Congratulations. And to Notinda Melissa Mtumbe, congratulations. Thank you so much for coming through. We are talking to Mrs. Mahachi here, and she's sharing about her journey and beautiful ashes. You talked about beautiful ashes and how this book. Okay, so this book is going for $10.
Yes.
I'm selling it already. I love selling things. This book is going for $10. So you are going through a difficult time, or you know someone is going through a difficult time. Sometimes it's very difficult to tell them about the will of God and stuff like that. People just say, you don't know what I'm going through. But here's a lady who's gone through the most in her journey, and she chronicles it in this book. But what you'll find here is not the story of Emelda Vhiriri. What you'll find here is a story of an everyday person who is going through difficult times, and you'll be able to also figure out how to navigate at the place that you're in. Hansi, the most important thing is how you respond to a matter and not staying in it, right? we're not staying in that situation you're passing through. Okay, so I feel like I'm preaching this morning. Right. You also wrote another book. This one is the first or the second?
The second one.
This one is the second. The first one. Let's talk about this woman to another woman.
Yes. Okay. So, from one invaluable woman to another, when you look at the book or when you read it, the first chapter says, "Through whose eyes do you see yourself?"
Right.
Because when you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, Yvonne, even your eyes can be distorted because you start saying, look at those eyes. Or look at one eye, like
My
I picked on.
tummy.
Yeah, we've got things that we say to ourselves
Right.
that are not even true about ourselves. But then it's then going back to say, how does God see me? When he created me, what did he have in mind?
Right.
Because when he says you're the apple of my eye, what does that mean? When he says you're fearfully and wonderfully made, what does that mean? Like he took his time to form you with everything in place,
Right.
So from one invaluable woman to another is a message that was being given to me.
Right.
That I said, you know what? I'm an invaluable woman because invaluable woman means priceless.
Right.
So here I was being reminded we can't put a price tag on you. You've got value, so much value that no one can just come in here and do whatever.
Right.
And I think for women today, it's a very important message to say, don't be defined by what's around you. Don't be defined by material things even.
Right.
Because we have so much pressure. Go on TikTok, go on Instagram, go
Oh
on,
my God.
it's like, do I have the nice Brazilian or the nice makeup? Or we've got that pressure, but you've got to go back and say, hey, without the things, I'm invaluable.
Right.
I'm complete, I have to become complete in God. So it's me and him and not me and another person. Because what happens now is you are a half person looking for a half person. And when you come together, there's a gap. Because
Right.
you're expecting a whole human to fill in the gap that a human being cannot fill up.
Right.
So the expectations that you place on another individual then creates problems.
Wow.
Because you begin to suffocate them. And you are not okay by yourself.
Right.
You see?
Right.
So those are some of the things that are in the book to say, let's talk about completion even before we meet our person. So my person is my better whole. I don't call him my better half. He's my
Right.
better whole. So we are work in progress, of course, but we've got to be happy by ourselves before we meet someone. Because if you want someone to then determine your happiness,
Unogara une BP. Wakashuta.
there's that. So
Right.
those are some of the conversations. And just to say, the last chapter of the book talks about the gold effect. To say, be a woman who, when you walk into a room, people appreciate your presence and they dread your absence. That even in the workplace, they're like, where's Yvonne? If Yvonne is here, she'll make things happen.
Wow.
Be that kind of woman who adds value in every space that you're in. So whatever you touch turns to gold.
Amen.
So from one invaluable woman to another, we're saying, we're that community that pulls each other up. And
I like what you talk about, the invaluable woman, and the fact that you have to be whole and not wait for somebody, Mr. Somebody to come through. And I think that's the challenge that we have as women. We are completely half, and we think ndikawana mbabvu yangu or pakabviswa mbabvu yangu, then I'm going to be complete. And conflicts in the home start there because you're dealing with an individual who's dependent on the spouse for their happiness, for their completeness, and I think it's a challenge even as we talk to young people to say, you need to find yourself first before you try to drag mwana minding into your home mess. Now I want us to move another step further. Emotional excel. Yes, let's talk about that platform that you have. What is it doing? What is it about?
Okay. So, as I mentioned earlier, we've got a whole community of sisters that prioritize emotional wellness. So, we come together, we love on each other. It's that space where there's no judgment really.
Right.
Like we talk about, we put a tissue here and we're like, let's cry it out. But
Mm.
afterwards we say, what are we gonna do about it? So that's the Excel community. And then when you look on my pages, individually I run the ER.
Yes.
So you're stepping into my ER, which is the Excel and Recharge with Mel. So the ER concept is the emergency room, right?
Right.
Where we're saying you come into my space on battery low, but we're taking you to a point where it's like a bit, I want you to feel some sort of recharge, that when you leave there, you're like, I can conquer the world.
Right.
So exhaling is really a concept about being okay with taking a break,
Mm.
because we glorify overworking.
Right.
Like, I work a lot. I used to do that where I'm like into the night. I'm like, just, but you crash. You crash. That's the thing. You are literally working yourself into the grave. Robin Sharma says, if you take your car to refuel, why
Right.
don't you also take pit stops for
Right.
yourself?
We
So
know.
yeah. So when someone says I'm just resting at home, it's like, what, resting? How? Of course, I know with the hustle in
Right.
Zim,
Yeah.
you've got to always be grinding for that dollar. But even as you're hustling, be intentional about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, even now in your workspace,
Right.
say around you, your colleagues, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just go into a space where you can literally
Breathe
breathe.
in and breathe out.
You need to breathe, you need
Right.
to exhale. So deep breathing is actually part of coping with stress and enhancing your emotional wellness. A lot of people think it's just about breathing, but there's what's called deep breathing. So
Right.
with deep breathing, what you do is you take a deep breath in, right? You cup your hands over your stomach like this. So when you breathe in, your stomach has to come out. So we're gonna try that. Okay. So we're saying the stomach is filling up, right, with air. And then when we exhale, we do it through the mouth as if we're whispering. So what you're doing is
That feels good.
it feels good. So imagine doing it for at least 5 minutes.
Right.
Just in your corner where you're even standing, or you're in the restroom if you don't have those kind of corners. So we're saying it's okay to rest, because your mind needs to rest, your body needs to rest, your spirit needs to rest. So exhale and then recharge. So when you're recharging, just like with the phone, you wake up and your battery is low. What do? You're plugging into the charger. So for you, it's now unplugging from things that drain you,
Right.
and then literally plugging into the things that recharge you.
Right.
So identify those things. What recharges you? What recharges you?
I think that's another process that a person has to go through, identifying what recharges you and using it for you to find that inner strength.
Yeah.
I love TV,
Okay.
which is part of why I do what I do. I love TV.
That's nice.
But sometimes I realize that I overindulge in the TV
Okay.
now.
I get
So
it.
instead of getting charged up,
Yeah.
it ends up being part of the things that then drains me. Now, how do you tell someone who is so invested in whatever it is that they feel energized by, and say, you need to stop
Yeah.
and breathe? It's your lifeline. It charges you, but you're now overdoing it.
I think it goes back to the issue of everything done in excess
Right.
is a problem.
Okay.
There's got to be a balance in
Right.
what you do. Even with eating, eating is good for your body, but you do it in excess, there's a problem.
Right.
So you've got to then say to yourself, there's got to be a balance. Give yourself time. Okay, Yvonne, you love TV. All right, you probably started as series. Maybe you're now on Bridgerton. Or I like to blacklist.
I don't watch.
was on
I don't watch.
Blacklist.
I don't watch seasons.
Or you don't
I
watch
told.
it.
I told. If I want to watch something, I'd rather watch something that's 1 hour 30 minutes.
And then
It
it's
starts.
done.
It ends. Full stop. I don't want the trauma
Yeah.
of suspense.
Okay, I hear. Yeah,
But
that's actually good.
Yeah.
But well, for me, there's a time when I was binging on a series.
Right.
So you start episode 1, 2, 3. I'm in like
12.
2 a.m. I'm up and watching this thing. So drained. By the moment I woke up, I was a zombie.
Right.
That's what happens
Yeah.
with technology. Like even if it's like your TV or your phone,
Phone, yeah.
I don't know the scientific part of it to really deeply explain it, but before you sleep, especially, if you are constantly watching TV, and then as soon as you press, so you switch off the TV and then you want to sleep, that doesn't happen.
Adds
If you,
away.
yeah, Unango chingo, like you're tossing and turning maybe for an hour
Or
or
two, because
two.
the light is still in your eye, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So part of what we encourage, even with the ER with Mel, is to say at least an hour before bed, switch off.
Right.
Switch off, and if you can actually switch off the light in your room, I don't know those who have a phobia of sleeping in the
Darkness, yeah.
dark, just have a little lamp maybe in the corner just for a
Right.
bit of light. But there's also a calm that's cultivated by dark room that is quiet. And then if you can actually put soothing music because you're preparing to sleep. It's like a bedtime routine that you're having, but it signals to your mind that it's time to rest.
Right.
For those who can invest even in scented candles, diffusers, you can do that because your body will relax and you have quality sleep. That's
Right.
another thing. It's not
Right.
just about sleeping.
The quality of
It's
the
not just
sleep.
about you're tired and then it's about the quality of sleep.
Right.
So there are people when they wake up, they're just so happy and vibrant. And
Right.
you're like, what happened? Did you get like, coffee in your sleep? What happened? Because they've got quality sleep.
So
Then you
they
have someone
really
who will
recharge.
sleep maybe even 10 hours, but
But
there's no quality sleep
right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
because of what you've done just before you slept. So people who read books even before sleeping, those people sleep better. Drink like those nice calm teas, chamomile. It's just those little things that make a difference.
Wow.
So the
Yeah.
ER with Mel says, your emotional wellness is important, and it also even helps you to deal with stress. You're not a ticking time bomb all the time because you know how to process the emotions.
And I like how you say it. I'm going to read people's comments
Okay.
just after this. But when you talk of drink your chamomile tea, diffusers, and for somebody, it's so off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there could be like natural things
Yeah.
that we have in our garden, like our mint, our rosemary that we have in the gardens that we can make use of to create that environment. Yeah. So just buttressing that so that you don't think I have to go out of pocket for me to create things. You already have it. It's there at home. Just make use of it. One of the things that I love to do, especially during weekends, is to just go out into my garden. I've got a very small yard space. Okay, I stay in Chitungwiza there.
So it's not really the garden like
It's not the garden that you find in Bordeaux, no, but it's a tiny. So we put greenery in a corner just to be able to to just chill with the family. One thing that I love to do is to just sit under the tree and think, close my eyes and just feel the breeze on my face, and it's a powerful way to just recharge in nature because nature has that effect.
It does.
One other thing, Imelda, is that you are a development practitioner.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Development practitioner is I work with communities.
Right.
So I did a master's in development studies. So I run a local organization. Okay, I do a lot of things.
Right.
But even in doing a lot of things, I excel and I recharge. So I'm able to do it. So I run a local organization called Cultivate Africa.
Right.
So it's basically developing people, but in this case, young people. So development practitioners are people who go into communities to transform them, dealing with different issues. So
How is that?
developing
How is
people.
that working out?
I'll be honest to say, well, it's okay, it's all right, but you find that the resourcing for that kind of work is a bit difficult because you're doing it's like charity work.
Right.
It's charity work. So most of the times the resources that you end up using are from your pocket. So you have to then find creative ways. So there could be somebody who's planning to start a local NGO and thinking, how they say NGOs are money. It's not every NGO that has money.
Right.
Most of them that have money are the international organizations because they have people putting into that pocket. So if you're local and you're starting your small organization, it's very important to be creative about how you fundraise for the money to then be able to help a less privileged sister or
Somebody.
brother
Yeah.
in the community. So income generating projects, try that. We are still working on a model to see what will work in Zimbabwean context because our
Right.
environment is a bit tricky. We
Yeah.
all know that in terms of what to put into.
Right.
What do you invest in that will give you more money? So in that case of resources, it's a bit, but in the fulfillment aspect, oh, it's fulfilling
All right.
being able to put a smile on someone's face.
All right.
We at the moment are working with young women with disabilities, bringing information to them on different things. So we've created an information hub, if you may call it, for young women with disabilities. So we've got our sign language interpreter there. We're bridging that gap. We've got, our accessible space where they can come and they just feel at home.
Right.
So when you then hear a young woman telling you, I didn't know about this, it's like, but you think you and I would think, Monwese, and now your information here.
Right.
Or just the simple how to use internet. Most of them don't have that knowledge. So for me, it's that impact. I love people. I love creating that space where they can come out,
Right.
where they also know they can do better.
Right.
They look at me and I tell them my story to say it was not always easy. I went through this, divorced parents, a lot of things that happened in my life, but I'm here because of the choices that I made. And I refused to be defined by what happened to me.
Right.
I just say to myself, I'm gonna be greater.
I like that because this morning on our morning devotion, I was saying, don't look like your problems, man.
Hallelujah.
You walk out the
Preach.
door, don't look like your problems. Put on your lipstick and show up,
Come on. Yeah,
do the thing.
that's right.
And okay, so you created this hub for young women with disabilities, and maybe there could be some who are in some spaces and desire such a platform where they can come and learn. Where do they come?
Sure. All right. So they can reach us if they have a phone. They can contact us on 0719
0719
828 288. 0719 828 288.
Okay, so that's the number if you want to get in touch with the Cultivate team, 0719 828 288. It should be showing on your screens any moment from now. So thank you so much to all of you who have been coming through. Wow. I'll just read a few comments that have come through. Olina, good news, angels, my word. I know, right? Congratulations, my mentor. That's Sophia Mpasi. It's a good book. I'm sure it's talking about Beauty for My Ashes. It's a good book. I can recommend it at all times. It can be a beam of hope. You can be assured you can rise again out of whatever. So thank you so much, Olina, for that endorsement for this book. Sophia says, this is a good book. I have my own copy. Thank you for supporting our local authors. Dahlia Flora Ndeka says, yes, mommy. Yes, yes, yes. You are talking it. Elder Elder Macheza. If I say elder, it sounds like an elder at church. So Elder, this is Elder Macheza. Thank you so much for coming through. This is a beautiful book, so encouraging. Thank you so much. My better whole no halves. Yes. Love you, Mel. This is Consolata Kapuya. She says, I love you. Charity following, amazing, proud of you, Emelda Vhiriri Mahachi, my God given human. Wow, so powerful. Thank you so much. Never glorify overworking. It is not success. You need to relax and recharge. Indeed, we need to relax and recharge. You're not doing anyone a favor by overworking. Sometimes you end up being so busy, you forget to actually discover yourself. You want to put yourself out there, and then we miss the best part of you because
True.
you're overdoing it. Praise says, "Go Mel." I love it when we root for our own, right? Go
Yay.
Mel. Mel, the woman, proud of you. Thank you so much, Tatenda. Tatenda is she loves so it's with the three hearts.
Oh.
It's okay to rest because body also need to rest, exhale, and recharge. Really profound. Thank you so much, Charity, for coming through. You are a safe space for many. Wow.
Oh,
This is so touching.
it is. It is.
Thank you so much, Olina. And Nedi say, yes, don't look like your problems. My favorite statement. Thank you so much. Davido says, my head girl, so proud of you, Mel. Oh my God, the
Thank
impact
you.
that we
Thank
always have. And yes, mommy, supporting all the way. This is Nomi Mugani
you.
Muzanzini coming through on our Facebook platform. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate your support and your being here on this day. And as we round up, Mel, you know, people have spoken, others know you personally, and others are just hearing about you now. But I think even me, I would want to keep talking to this Imelda because you're so soothing. I don't know if it's just me, but this is the
Thank
air
you.
that I get, and it's so encouraging and it's so calming, you know. Now, when we look at Imelda and the work that you're doing, all those different facets, what are we looking forward to? Are we expecting another book to come out?
Definitely.
Where do you get the time?
Books. I exhale and I recharge.
Right.
Yeah, so I get the time. So books definitely coming. The Excel community has events that we have on Sunday actually. Sunday afternoon from 1 to 5 we have a heart to heart session for sisters. So please do register for that. We're just going to have a cozy time, coffee
Right.
and cake in Milton Park and just share experiences because sometimes you just want to hear that I'm not alone.
Okay.
And like this is not new. So we're gonna have a heart to heart session on Sunday. We have them
Okay.
every month, and we've got an annual conference in December. So December 3rd we have that. So books are coming and more content on my page.
Right. So
Excel and recharge.
let me get this right. Every month, you have a what?
Heart to heart session. It's
Heart
an
to heart.
yeah.
Okay, it's part of the
Yeah, the Excel community, the
Okay,
invaluable woman Excel community.
I see. Okay,
Yes.
so every month.
Yeah.
So this month is happening on Sunday.
On
So
Sunday.
is it every end of the month or?
Well, different dates, but if people get in touch with us, our email address is invaluablewoman@gmail.com. And then the same number that we put on the 0719, the admin can, yes,
828288, yeah.
828288, can give more information and the whole calendar to say this is what we're doing in the year.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
And any word, parting word to a young person who's tuned in, who, there are people who are going through the most, Imelda.
Yeah.
I think just recently I heard the story of this young man who was molested. He was abused. He doesn't say by who, which gives an impression that it's somebody really close. It's at home. And this young man was abused like that. And he's saying, I think I should just die, you know. I don't know what I should do with this now. I'm in so much pain. He doesn't talk about it. And the people who are going through the most are the ones that always smile around people.
Exactly.
And this young man is going through such a season. Maybe peradventure there could be many, especially boys. They don't talk, they don't open up.
Yeah.
Women, at least we've got these platforms. We can actually come and say we're excelling.
Yeah.
That's women.
Yeah.
We vent, if
That's
you go on
us.
social media, you see these women are always shouting. And then the next day they're so calm and say, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Because we women, we vent out.
True.
I want you to speak to this special constituency of young people, young men
Yeah.
in particular, or even grown men who are still holding on to the pain of what happened yesterday.
Okay.
What's your message to them? And then give us your parting shots.
Parting words. Okay, so maybe before them directly, I'd say, you know how they say it takes a village to raise a child
Right.
or to raise a person. Society has a role in this, a critical one, to say let's break the stereotypes of saying men shouldn't cry,
Right.
men should be strong, men are this, men are that, and understand that a man is a human being. So let's start there. In the communities, in our churches, in our workplaces, in our homes, let's create a conducive environment for men to be able to share, for boys to be able to talk. And I would advise the boy child to say, you know, it might be hard to share, like I'm saying, because of
The stereotypes that are there.
but try to find someone that you trust. It can be a family member, it can be a friend, and there are so many counselors out there who are waiting to also hear what you're going through. I know Friendship Bench, I don't have their contacts, but just look up Friendship Bench. They've got a free service for counseling where you can even be anonymous and talk to somebody, because talk therapy is very important. And there could be a stage where you also need help with medication. There's a point where you might need prescription from certified
Doctors.
doctors, and don't be ashamed of it. I know in Africa we treat mental disorders like there's something, like, yeah, the term crazy, which is not a term that we should use. It's not crazy, it's just some hormonal imbalances that have happened in your body that need to be, put back
together,
into place. So it takes sometimes just a dose of certain antidepressants to help you to get your life back. So don't be afraid to share, because from sharing you get help. And for
Right.
me, one critical thing is prayer. Prayer works. It has worked for me. Not imposing it on someone, but if you want to try it out, try it out. When I was going through like the first, when pain hits you and you can't say a word,
Right.
I couldn't pray. I didn't know what to pray. And then I realized there's a scripture in Romans that says, we don't know how to pray, but the Holy Spirit
helps us,
intercedes for us.
Right.
He intercedes for us with words that cannot be understood.
Right.
So even when you're groaning, Kongo gomera, like just saying, I'm praying, but you don't have the words, the Holy Spirit intercedes for you, and the healing even comes. So it's beautiful when the healing comes from the inside out. I can now talk about my dad without being like, because I've gotten to a stage of my healing. It's a process. There are times when I break down. My husband knows this. He would just hold me and be like, it's going to be okay. We pray about it, because we've created that space where we say it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to talk about it. It's okay to not feel okay. It's normal. It's normal. So I think if we start there, that's very important. And then just to say to people, find your support system. I've seen the importance of support system. It can be a group of people. It can be just your friends, but find people who positively impact you, who can remind you who you are. Because there are times when you feel like I can't do it. I'm not this person anymore. But when you have people then coming to tell you, oh, Yvonne, you are this. Remember what you did in this particular time. Remember this. You need those people that root for you, as you said. So make sure you've got a support system, and that you take time for yourself as well. Self-care is very important as you cultivate a life of emotional wellness. Yeah. So I think that's what I'd say.
Emelda, it has been a pleasure having you. I'm not a very calm person, but today I just had to be calm.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for making time and sharing of yourself with Zimbabwe and sharing very powerful nuggets. Chandanya Ubata Stedekansi, it's okay not to be okay. It's okay. You don't always have to have it all in order. So it's okay not to be okay. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you for gracing our studios. And thank you for sharing your beautiful story. Yeah, seasons that you go through always as a way of allowing you to birth a lot of other things around. So unless it dies. So thank you so much for allowing yourself to die and to be birthed again and to rise like a phoenix.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. Thank you.
Awesome. And thank you, Zimbabwe, for tuning in. This is Zimbabwe Daily. The program you're watching is in studio with, and today we were with author Emelda Vhiriri. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of day.